So I thought today I'd put together a list of my top 5 favorite Schrade items to use. There's a few knives, an axe, and a few large choppers. So it boils down to my top 5 Schrade products. We're also going to take a look at a couple custom products I had made for these items. So let's take a look. So first up is a product that I've had the longest from Schrade. This is the SCEX 2L. Fantastic axe. I've taken this on multiple camping trips, and you can see it has one of those custom sheaths that I had made for it. This was made by Gary over at C2G Fab. It's a Kydex sheath with a little pull on it. You simply just undo the retention snap and you can pull the cover right off and reveal the blade. I've used this many times to split wood, to chop down small trees, and also to process some finer wood. It does have a ferro rod in the handle here. I simply use that as a backup. I haven't used it much as far as my primary ferro rod because I typically have one on my belt knife. But a fantastic product, and certainly a product worth checking out. So as long as we're talking about the larger stuff, this is the SCHF43 or the Jethro. This is one of my favorite large choppers from them. This thing can certainly chop with the best of them. I've used this to clear paths before, to chop down small trees. You can see I also have a custom Kydex sheath for this. Very nice sheath from Matt over at Grizzly Outdoors. It's got a very nice plate on the back, and then I have that hooked up to one of these slings from my buddy Jacob from Beach and Tactical. I have one of these on my crossbow. It works great. These are actually rifle slings, but it works fantastic for a baldric style carry on your large choppers or large knives. So that's the way I have this one hooked up. And again, this is the SCHF43 or the Jethro. So another large chopper that many of you are familiar with, this is the SCHF43 or the JX. A very nice blade that I enjoy using. This blade is just fun. It's fun to go out and chop things with it. And I haven't been carrying it too often lately because I am getting a sheath made for it by C2G Fab, the same person that made my sheath or the mask for the SCEX 2L. He's making me a Kydex sheath for this, again with the baldric style carry, and I'll probably put one of those Beach and Tactical slings on it as well. But another great knife if you're looking for a large chopper, the SCHF43 or JX. So let's move on to a few knives that I really like from Schrade. I've tested quite a few of them, and these are my favorite bushcraft style blades. This is the SCHF43 This comes in a standard, a shorter version, and this longer version being the L. And I have this in a Grizzly Outdoors sheath. Again, Matt from Grizzly Outdoors makes fantastic products. You can see here the multicam on the front with the solid color on the back. And then I also asked him to add a dangler, a leather dangler. So that is how I carry this rig. I'm not a huge fan of the taco style sheaths that fold over. I really prefer this pancake style design. He puts his drain holes in the back here instead of on the tip. So just all over a great person and great company if you're looking to get some Kydex done. Check out Grizzly Outdoors. And then finally, the last item in my top 5. This is the SCHF42. This is the Brian Griffin design, a fantastic knife. I love using this knife. And then again in a Grizzly Outdoors sheath, very similar to the 56L sheath with the multicam on the front, solid on the back, and the leather dangler. These sheaths have fantastic retention, and you may wonder why I would get a sheath made for such an inexpensive knife. This knife, the 42 and the 56L, and even the large choppers like the JX and the Jethro, they're all very affordable from Schrade. And you might be asking or asking yourself, why on earth would he spend upwards of $50 plus on sheaths when the knives in most cases don't even cost that? Well, that's a great question, and I have three reasons for that. One being to customize the look. You know, having your stuff look and feel custom and tailored to you goes a long way when it comes to gear. I like customizing most of my gear, making it my own, and so that's definitely a big reason why I choose to get Kydex sheaths or leather sheaths made for the items that I use a lot. And also the higher priced items such as my LT Wright knives, my Black Feather knives, Bark River knives for example, those all come with a high quality sheath. So that's sort of what you're paying for with the knife, where you don't pay for that with these more affordable knives. You pay for a cheaper, you know, thermoplastic sheath, or in the case of the Brian Griffin design, you do get a leather sheath, which is nice. I just prefer the Kydex. I prefer a dangler, so I customize my knife that way. The second reason is that I'm left-handed, and a lot of knives don't come left-handed. Again, my more expensive knives, I can order the leather sheath left-handed, but when you buy a more affordable knife, you're stuck with what they give you. So being left-handed, 9 times out of 10, the sheath is going to come right hand only, and so that's another big reason why I choose to get a custom sheath made. And finally, the last reason why you might want to get a custom sheath for a rather inexpensive knife would be simply just to add functionality. In this case, I wanted a baldric style carry for this knife. Again, I'm left-handed, so I wanted it switched around that way. A lot of times you can get piggyback systems, or you can get ferro rod loops, or, you know, clips or things like that. You can even add, you know, like on this one, I could add a small survival kit. So third and final reason why I would get a custom sheath would be to add functionality. So I do have a couple runners up as far as my favorite knives from Schrade goes. This is the SCHF43 JX. Again, it's a Brian Griffin design. It's very similar to the 42. It just doesn't have the belly. And the sheath that Matt designed for me at Grizzly Outdoors will actually fit this knife as well. So I can swap the knife depending on whichever knife I feel like carrying that day in this same exact sheath. But you can see here that they do come from Schrade with a pretty decent leather sheath, belt loop, retention strap. But again, it's right-handed and I'm left-handed, so I opted to get a custom sheath made that would work for both knives. And then my final runner-up would be the SCHF43. This is a knife that I really like. It's got sort of this tread pattern on it, and these, believe it or not, actually are an ambi sheath, so I can switch this around. I have it right now switched to a left-handed style, so I do like this knife, and I do carry this once in a while. You can see it's a very minimal knife. It does come with a ferro rod loop and their ferro rod with this shock cord on it, so it does work really well, and that's why it's another runner-up as one of my top 5 Schrade tools. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video today, taking a look at my top 5 Schrade tools, a couple knives, an axe, and a couple large choppers. I'm going to leave some links below to all the custom work that I had done, Grizzly Outdoors and C2G Fab. Again, the only one that I don't have a custom sheath for right now is the SCHF43 JX. That's in the process of being made, and I'll show that off to you guys once I get it. As you can see, there's several important reasons, at least for me, to get a customized option for your knives, no matter how much they cost. So I'd like to know, what are your favorite Schrade products? Please leave me a comment down below in the comment section. I hope you guys liked this video today. Please give it a big thumbs up for me. Make sure you share it to your family and friends on your social media, and as always, click that red subscribe button. Subscribe to my channel for new gear videos weekly. We're also going to take a look at some custom sheaths that I had made. We're also going to take a look at a custom We're also going to take a look at a couple custom products that I had made.